Welcome, everybody. Let me look at the camera. Thanks for coming in. Let me put the comments. Bear with me. Hey, Mary. Go with you, Angie. Sharkfin. Let me know if you want to have the link on Sharkfin and come in to help me out. It'll be much appreciated if you do. I know it's late minute, but try my best with this topic. I was running out of topic and ideas, but I digress. I'm here. That's what matters. Let's keep it. Ready? Let's do the intro. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. This is Tech for Your Knees. Let's get started. Let's have fun. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So many new products is coming because after this half of the year is Tech half of the year product. That's how I call it. Half Tech of the year. And that's just my name that I coined, and that's what I'm going to go with because we're going to have a lot of products and stuff like that. And we're going to start with a lot, and then it's going to go the fall season, and everything's going to be amazing. So try to ping, put the word invite, and I'll invite you if you want to come in and help me. If not, I'll try my best. And I digress. Let's continue. But yeah, so let me go over here and start saying hi to people the right way. And bear with me. Mary, Angie, Sharkfin. Yep, that's my name. Don't wear it out. No. Xl Lyra. Sorry that I look it this way, but I got to look what I'm clicking. So that's why it's a little discrepancy. But I'm going to fix that. So, what else? Cool. So, yeah. Let me just send an invite just in case. Give me a second, folks. If the person comments, come. If not, I'll deal with it myself. So bear with me, people. Okay. Sorry for that. Link have been sent. So, okay, we're gonna get a bunch of products because every year, every company they do the yearly product cycle. So the first one is Pixel, if I'm not mistaken. Then it's gonna be Samsung, just for the summer part, and then on September it's gonna be Apple, and the rest gonna be more Apple events. And because Pixel have two events. They're gonna get the A line first. That's the budget mid-range line, or a high mid-range, or whatever you want to call it. And then they got the actual flagship in the fall. So I want to clarify that because people that come over here taking me like they know about this thing and be like, oh no. So yeah. So I send the link to Shark. If you want to come in, you're welcome. But I'm gonna continue. So yeah, look at the camera. So yeah, those are the products that's coming in. Anybody, let me know if you got an eye of anything you're buying and stuff like that. Just let me know. I got this right here. I got the logo. I will get rid of that. Just something happened with the account, but it's fine. I'm not gonna worry about that. The logo, because I digress. But yeah, looking straight at you. What are you buying? And is it worth buying? And let me know, and I'll give you my best opinion of what I think about the product. Are you getting a new product? Are you staying with what you have? If you're using the method ain't broken, you don't want to go down the route of spending more money and stuff like that. Keeping up with the Jones and stuff like that. Just let me know. So, because I know a bunch of us already got new phones. Hi, Annette. Hola, Luis. Let's press that like button. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Listen to the sister. The sister has spoke. Press the button. So yeah, so everybody saying hi to everybody. So Grower Angie says, I'm final editing my description and post a video while watching. That's what I love. You're doing work and you just continuing to working for a better tomorrow. Let's go, sister. That's what I like. Productivity, 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 no slacking. So much respect for that, Angie. Okay, so let me go. Well, Elvira, she said, hoping to buy the Pixel 7, and the Pixel 7 is coming in the falls. So the first Pixel phones that are coming out is the A line. That's a great phone. I like the look of it and everything. Pixel is the top of the top, and that's the company that created Android. So you're good with that. Let me know. Do you have the 6 or the 6 Pro? I just wondering what you have. And any opinions do you think, Barbara, about the A line series on the Samsung? Not Samsung, sorry, the A line series on the Pixel phone by Google. Correct that? You need to slow down and speak correct English. Bear with me, fix this. So yeah. So I don't know. I got the iPhone XR watch. I don't touch nothing. I'm right here looking at it, and I'm thinking, should I change it or not? Because it ain't broken. Don't need to fix it. I just want to allocate my money somewhere else better. But to the point, sorry if that's loud, but to the point, everybody keep hassling me, and I'm not worried about nobody. It's my wallet. But I digress. Another subject for another day. Oh, so right now I have the Pixel 3 XL, Elvira. Oh yeah, that's a good jump. You're gonna better performance, better camera. Hopefully the tensor chip is more iron, and it's more. You fix the bugs and everything. So yeah, it's time. I mean, it's time for me to upgrade too, according to people. But yeah, if you want me, pay me. you know. Hey, my boy is here, Sioba, the king, the technician of live streaming and OBS and everything. So I got to give credit's due. The guy's incredible. Look up his name, spell it like that, and you'll find his credentials because he's a wonderful person and a wonderful content creator. He's got vast knowledge on when it comes down to the actual live streaming. And I learned a lot from him. All this lighting and all this is because he teach me. So therefore, I got to be grateful. My head's off to that. So let me go with Michael Pepper. If you want to come in, let me know, Michael Pepper. Put the word invite, and I'll invite you. Want to talk about this? Let me go over here. So I'm in an iPhone 11 still and recording all my videos. If it's working, ain't broken, no need to fix situation for now. Just move on when you're ready. I'm glad, you know. Just people think I need the gas. Gas is the acronym for gear acquisition syndrome. And people think I need the greatest and latest. Like my boy Silva said, and I say on all my live stream, before I met him, upgrade your skill before you upgrade your equipment. So therefore, it got to go like that. Nah, brother, don't worry about it. You know, giving credit's due. Salute to your knowledge. So yeah, getting back, seriously, all jokes aside, I'm working on recording more videos too. It's coming up. So holla at your boy. Hey. Just in case this person want to come in, I'm gonna send the link. Bear with me, folks. So I'm sending it to Michael Pepper Tech in case he want to come. Okay, there's the link. Look back in the camera. So yeah, so people thinking that they need. Let me see. Oh yeah, I said holla at your boy. Let me see what. And it says, my daughter just paid off her iPhone 11 and she's perfectly happy. More money in her pocket. Exactly. I mean, it depending. If you're not a content creator and you're fine, and you're not with that, I got to keep up with the Jones, then you're fine. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to her because it's been paid off a while ago. So I'm allocating the money where it needs to go. So for more, buy more equipment when I can buy more productivity and more stuff for better myself, not just for YouTube, because I'm still not monetized, but also if I do a little clientele work, a little that I get, like a birthday party or something small, then I'm good to go. You see, I mean, you gotta get your hustle on. It's all nothing wrong with that. Well, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm glad that everybody is just thinking about what they need and they wants and stuff like that. And actually, I was just thinking that I almost grabbed a Galaxy Ultra, the 22 Samsung. I almost grabbed one of those. I was literally in the store in hands with one, and and when they started typing, I said, wait. Lucky they didn't press no button. I said, reverse that. I just walked away because it was not the right time to get that. I started thinking, something told me in my heart, don't get nothing, don't get nothing, gonna regret. Put the money where it's supposed to. Be an adult, back up, back up, back up. I know you're showing us about mobile, but back up, back up. So that's what I did. I backed up, listened to my voice, listened to my boy Sharky, thinking of him that he told me the other day, don't need to get no phone. It's working. You ain't breaking it. If you need to replace that phone, replace it or replace it for cheap. The company, something happened. So I was just respecting my inner voice and his voice that came in my mom voice said, why you getting new phones all the time? It's not needed. So therefore. And there's a question for Annette that Sharky's asking, what is your daily driver? So, that's what I tell people. Rock with me. I mean, I give it a reality. If you want to keep spending money on phones, go ahead. But if it's not needed, it's not needed. Here's my boy Ricardo. Much salute for coming in. I appreciate it. Yeah, so people need to understand that and think about those type of stuff. You know? I mean, if this is your only means of communication and productivity for a better tomorrow and creating your content for now until you can buy better equipment on the actual social media, I'll say go for it, go for it, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Respectfully, there's nothing wrong with that. Make sure that I don't touch nothing over here when I'm grabbing it. So put it right here. Go to Annette, what she said. My son-in-law, however, is rough on phones and on a Galaxy 7 Edge, but is on the last leg. I may get him an older model, a Samsung latest, greatest. Oh, well, cool. Well, yeah. I have been getting my, Byra, I have been getting my son phones and me hand me down his phones from the Galaxy S2 or whatever you get him, then he'll give it back to you. He'll get the new one. That's good if the phone is good quality. iPhone 13 Pro and a half. Did I miss? Oh, hey Jay, thanks for coming, Grizzly. Salute to my boy Lachon, saying hi. Yeah. So I send links if people want to come in. That's fine. I mean, I know it was short as late notice, but I was busy running errands and stuff like that. So, but I want to say something. This could go a long way for your content creation. Don't wait for tomorrow to get equipment. If you're not ready, like I said all the time, and I preach, if your skills are not there, don't buy something that you're gonna produce potato video because it's still gonna be potato video. Honesty is the best policy. So go over here to tracking. Yeah, indeed. These gadgets are great, so tempting. I nearly bought the C Fold 3 twice. Once you start playing with it in the store. So let me clarify that. You was attempted to buy it twice or you bought it and then you let it go and then you wanted to buy twice. Clarify that for the people. I know the answer, but people may not know. So once you start playing with the store, the big beauty display and everything, yes. Let me see also Angie. Make tomato videos, not potato videos. Good analogy. But yeah, getting back to the subject, and people need to understand those parts. And there's just few things that people miss here and there with that, but you know, it's fine. Your content creation start, work on it, hone your skills and stuff like that. Because as we talking about what coming in the half, it's incredible phone. If you needed to upgrade for your content creation, go ahead if you got the money. I'm not telling you how to run your pocket. I'm just, and giving advice. And this is not financial advice. I'm not a financialist or nothing. It's just what I learned throughout the years. Let me clarify that and do that. And and one more thing before I continue, be respectful on the actual comments and stuff like that. And what else I'm gonna say? You got to think before you go spending this, because I have people talk to me, content creators. I got 5 phones because I want my channel. Wait a minute, you're on the 1,000. You're getting all these phones. You're being in debt on the Reddit, and you haven't make no money. You got to retrain stuff like that. He's the over there. He's the biggest liar. He's the biggest liar. His videos are amazing. Just look up his channel, holler at your boy, and stuff like that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I never owned a phone like but my brain overwhelmed my tech heart, and I wound up waiting until okay, he got that 22. And excuse me for that. I could have read that better, but I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, his stuff is terrific. It's awesome, amazing. He got good quality video editing. It's on point for LaShawn. Holla at your boy. He's being modest, but hey, it's working. You got to shout out. I got to be credit where credit's due. Your stuff is not here. Your stuff is over there, LaShawn. So let's clarify that. Hey, Ted, how you doing? I don't know how many invites I have, but I put 2 invites out there. If those people don't come, well, you could put the word invite and I'll invite you. So, yeah. So basically, I'm thinking, should I get a phone? Because I got enough equipment. Equipment is so set. I got a CB1 for now, and stuff like that. But I don't want to waste money on that because I want to put my money towards a computer, and that's what I've been saving. So before my birthday next year, I want to buy something. I think it's time to move on to the next level. So level up, because this computer is working and it's fine and it's what it is, but it's a couple of years old and it's the top of the mook of the line, like they say in ghetto terms, the mook of the mook, but it's up there. It's the Dell and it XPS, and it's touchscreen, 2K, everything, but I just got to take things in stride. Hey, your daughter just paid her iPhone 11. How long has she had it? But usually take 24 months to pay a phone, but now they're changing it and they're doing it to 3 years, or I think it's 33 months. I'm not sure. A lot of companies. I'm debating for a new phone or CB1. I love my iMac in 1 TB and 5 TB external overkill. I personally love the camera because your phone ain't broken. The camera, it give you longevity, and it's worth every penny. This camera, you could get a discount too. You don't have to buy a brand new. So I think the camera is a better investment in my opinion. And you could use the regular mode, easy. You could learn, you could grow with it, and the longevity of the camera is gonna outlast the phone because cameras do. Yeah, true. No need to upgrade the phone. And yep, Angie, that's what I'm saying. So basically the camera is the thing. Black or white, whatever color you want to get it, it's out there. But I think it's worth it if you want to pay installment, whatever you want to do. But I think in the long run, it's going to be exponential beneficial because it's more compact. You could take everywhere, and and stuff like that. And people are not gonna bother you because you coming with this to this place is big or not. Nobody bothered me with it. I was blogging and I went everywhere the other day and I was doing a test. So working on some stuff that is coming up. But I was happy. So let me see what Ricardo said. I'm waiting for the iPhone 14 Pro. I'm currently have the iPhone 11 Pro Max. If it's time for you to upgrade, go ahead, brother. But if you think your phone is working fine, you don't need it because sometimes we upgrade the phone. We don't use every feature and every aspect of the phone, and sometimes I call that the gas syndrome. But also it sometimes you know. I mean, I'm not telling people how to run their pocket, but if you're not gonna use all features, what's the point of getting the phone? I mean, if you use some of them and you produce something and you do something, it don't have to be always for content creation, but you could be in a wedding for a family, you could be a regular folk, but okay, this is what I need to use this phone. People might like those photos and stuff like that. There's a place and a time for everything. Just giving advice. Hey Savage, how you doing? 10 Hut? People that know? No. I took down his video looking at continuity camera features. Okay. Yeah, that's the original price, Angie. But you could go to stores and my friend got it. Everything, including 3 years or how many years he got a warranty for 525. A person bought it and returned it. As soon as they returned it a day after because they thought it was an interchangeable lens. So he was there when the person bought it, and then he went the next day. I don't know. He was cruising on Best Buy, and the same person had returned the camera. So I was like, yeah, it's only black and white. It's no other color. But I think 700 for like 2 3 years, 4 years. That's a good price. Because you pay once, don't pay for affordable equipment that's gonna break fast. That's another advice that I'm giving out. Yeah, white is good because you got the raw white too. Yeah, the white is sexy. Very, very, very. I like the white one because I got a white one, and I use both. Doing a baptism, I use both in case one fail. I got the other one, so that was what I was doing that the other day. Hey, Bobby, thinking about getting a Metro phone. Yeah, go for it. And depending on the deals they give you, and what is the plan payment and everything, just make an assessment, and whatever your pocket could afford, just go for it. You know. Okay, let me see what Status says. I just got the 22 Ultra, aka No, for only 300 by trading in my cracked screen Note 20. There you go. There's deals and there's everything to be because they're giving out deals on different companies. So that was a good deal. That's a come up. Hey, Bonnie. And let me check something over here just in case. Bear with me, folks. So yeah, so people got to think about that. There's stuff that people are not thinking. So let me see. Here we go, Sane. This is a true confession from a content creator. So let me see if I could find her comment because she just went away. Let me go back over here. I love my Sony CB1. Best decision I made to sell my M50 and get it. But Honest Coop hooked me up and big. There's content creators that are willing to sell their camera and give you good deals and stuff like that. You also can look into that. If I see somebody selling it, I'll let you know, Angie. So, yeah, the thing is, if you're a beginner and you don't want to get overwhelmed with features and stuff like that, then I think the 3.1 is a better buy than the M50 due to the fact that it's much easier to use based on that. And if you feel the same way, Annette, you could put your experiences with the M50 and why you went to the actual Sony CB1. Reason for is support because of ease of use, portability, and blah 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 blah. You get my point, so people could get their perspective if they want to buy. I'm getting the Apple Watch 7 soon. Good. Oh, they are giving free phones? Oh, go for it. Yeah. I mean, if it's a good enough phone and you think it's warranted, just go for it. You know, you get what you can get. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of deals out there. You don't have to break the bank to get the equipment from the actual. The only and you gotta make sure that when you get those deals us from us YouTubers that are reputable because that's the word, reputable. So clarify that. That's my best ability. Then go for it. I wouldn't recommend you not nobody that is a sleazy or trying to do scam or something. No, 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 no. I make sure because you got to think when you buy a camera, how long it's been used, what is the shutter and stuff like that, how many pictures they took because that all taken in consideration. But coming from the person, a good buy. Let me go down. Well, Bobby, I'll tell you one thing. Let me click over here to your comment. I'm filming this year. I'll say 85 to 90% everything with my Sony CB1. This is what I'm live streaming. So I put the two fingers, look over here, and look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus it on purpose, and look how fast is the focus come back. It's an amazing little camera. Doing it on purpose. Look, best best autofocus. See how fast? This is an incredible, powerful. It's a mighty little beast camera. It got like the big actual cameras. It got S log. You could color grade. The only thing is 8-bit, but it's still workable footage. You could do a lot of stuff. There's videos that do cinematic because it's all about your skills. People wipe the floor with this. Yes, and let me go back over here. So let me read this comment. True. That is true for sure because if I didn't know Scoop, I would have thought about it a little more. Yeah, a little more before buying it. You got to know the person's true. But, I wouldn't recommend nobody that is 15-year customers. I don't know how many years, but I know the year that I started Xl Lyra. I started 2007 with T-Mobile as a returning customer. So therefore, I would have been more. So that's a long time that I've been with T-Mobile. It's working in my area and nothing happening. If I move somewhere else and then I got to go buy something else, I'll go buy. Yeah, Elvira, I'm thinking about going to Metro. So what kind of company you have? Let me know, Bobby, so we can discuss it. And I'll tell you if it's a better move or not. Based on because everything suggests it's based on your area and where you live, what it works. People think, oh, T-Mobile is the best. No, 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 no. It's whatever work in your area, that's what you buy. If T-Mobile is not working, you're not gonna go to T-Mobile, even if it's claimed to be the best company or Verizon or vice versa. You get my point. So yeah. So buy equipment what you need and work with it and make the best out of it. Very good, capable. Yeah, that's one thing that I agree with this comment. I agree 100%. And you know why? Because when I went to become a Verizon customer, I tried every other company. Guess what? For one line, they wanted $130 plus taxes, and that it was separated. So therefore, it's not worth it. I paid for 4 lines $100 on T-Mobile. I'm a grandfather program, so no, 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 no. That's too much. It's time to let go. You know me. I wouldn't even think it twice. I would have jumped in a blink of an eye. Blink, blink. That's it. That's too much money, to be honest. So let me go over here. So my co-anchor, Ali have T-Mobile. Okay, cool. So let me go over here. T-Mobile is good. I never had problems. Let me go down. Thanks for coming in. I'm all things drone. 100 a month? Yeah, wow, ouch. That's a lot. I mean, I understand if you buy a couple of products and you're trying to pay it, but if it's a regular bill, just flat out, nah. I mean, this company get too much of us. No need for all that. Which carrier is best if you just want to pick up an iPad? Well, I got T-Mobile. I got the iPad, and I paid it installment because you could pay a lot of accessories on installment. They got even the Apple big headphones and everything. They got a lot of stuff on T-Mobile so you could get and pay a down payment, pay little by little. And that's why I got my things, but I would not be doing that no more. If I ain't got the money, I ain't buying it. So that's just money. Oh, also, I like to buy LTE models or 5G models because I don't like to be confined. Like a couple of times I had to do a couple of things and it says save me in the fly. Do I have a lot of data on it? No, I don't because I'm over some Wi-Fi, but just in case at those actual times and, you know, hey, it's saving me. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta wait. Wait, let's go over here and let's meet you in a Starbucks, or the person can meet me in Starbucks. I'm not confined to no area, and and that's it. I love T-Mobile, and the international pass is amazing. Yeah, I mean it's good. So you do a lot of international. I want to hear your opinion because you still can mitigate that with by going with the actual what's it called WhatsApp and another apps. So let me go. What Angie Grove says. Oh no, only white one was left on Amazon 792. No. With tax. Oh yeah. That's what it costs with tax. It's true. Every time I make money, I spend it. It should. Yeah, allocate the money if you could and put it towards that, a little by little. And if you want to get it, you'll make it happen. For me, that's what I pay. It was worth every penny. I wanted to return it back because I want a new one, but the returning period had expired. So yeah, let me bring somebody in, and it's my friend. So Marco Pepper Tech.
Howdy.
Hey, how you doing? Howdy. I don't know if I could hear you. Your audio.
That was weird. I heard like an echo in my own ear for a second.
No, you're fine now. You're good to go. So, what's your opinion about the subject? Anything that's caught your eyes, what is coming, and stuff like that. So, yeah, about he getting everything figure out. I'm gonna continue. I think it's a good camera for entry level. I'm just gonna talk about it because it's happened very incredible on every level. I not complaining. As you see, I did a autofocus test and everything and works. You got your audio set it up, Michael Pepper. Yeah, I don't know what's going on his end, but
I
when you're
do.
ready,
That's
just
weird. There's like a delay on my end.
you want to get out and come back. Maybe that fixed the problem. I don't know what else to say.
I'll see.
hmm So let me go over here. Mm. Okay, the $5 international day pass when I travel, the data and unlimited text and calls while I'm out of the country. I use WhatsApp too, but I like having access to that in case of a Wi-Fi issue. Correct. You're 100% correct on that. So, Greg, you explained that. Go back over here. I even consulted with Roberto Blake, and he told me that CB1 is far superior than the M50. Exactly my point. Let me bring my homeboy back.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
I know
So
what was
what you
going on for some reason. For some reason, I thought I'd closed out the YouTube tab, but I hadn't, so I was hearing everything twice.
Oh, that makes sense. So, what you think about the subject? What is coming up for the year? What do you recommend? And what is your opinion and stuff like that? The mic is yours. Go ahead.
Well, we have some Apple stuff that's yet to come out. Like next month, the M2 MacBook Air will be coming out. What I've seen from the M2 MacBook Pro is a little bit disappointing, especially, I mean, for a bit, my thought was, well, yeah, it's a step up from the M1, so if you want to get something, but you don't need like the 14-inch M1 Pro and you want to save money and you want something with fans, so if you're doing some long-term editing and stuff. But now when I'm seeing some of the things about like the drive speeds and some of the information that's coming out where certain things are actually slower than they were on the M1, it makes me concerned a little bit because that really shouldn't be the case. But we also have to realize that we now have two generations of Apple Silicon that's out and two generations of their hardware. What and that's not even considering like the M1 Pro, the M1 Max, and the M1 Ultra chips, and all these software companies having to update for it and adjust for it. So, you know, I think that's why they did this in kind of a scattered release, is
Hmm.
this will give the companies times to get their hands on the M1 Pro and now the M2 chip and update their software to support it, because until they have their hardware in their hands, they can't really update it to support the newer stuff. And M2 isn't much, I don't know, there's some significance over the M1 stuff, but mainly it's like, are you doing a lot of single core performance tasks? And
Hmm.
if you are, then it's an upgrade, but multi-core stuff, I don't know, it's a hard sell because once you upgrade the memory and the storage to, 16 gigs of memory and 512 gigs of storage or 1 terabyte of storage, you're so close to something like a 14-inch M1 Pro, and then with that you get the extra ports, you get the better display,
Oh yeah,
um you get faster storage, you get the better microphones and camera, and you get like so much more with it that it's a hard sell on that one. I think the Air is what they're gonna go to. I think the 13-inch MacBook Pro is just gonna go away, and you'll have
correct.
MacBook Airs, and then you'll just have like the M1 Pro and M1
Yeah, I
Max
agree with that.
laptops, and then obviously the Ultras for desktop. Um, I'll be curious to see. I'm excited to see when the Pixel 7 um, finally comes out. And well, the Pixel 6a is supposed to be dropping next month in July,
Correct.
and to see how that compares to something like the Pixel 6 or because the
Yeah,
main
let me.
difference is they're using the older camera for the one sensor, and then they're using, you don't get a 90 hertz or 120 hertz display, but that's mainly the difference. So I'll be curious to see though if it will have less memory, um, if there's other things that, because they didn't really talk a ton about specs other than showing, hey, it's basically gonna have the same chip and it's gonna have a similar design, and here's the cameras that we're looking to use. But until it comes out, I don't like to really, because you can't
Yeah,
really compare.
let me say something quick to Angie. Angie, don't forget that Amazon Prime is coming. So if you want to get the camera, that could be another discount. Yeah, let's continue. I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to clarify that.
And
Yeah, the Pixel 6 is around the corner. I want to see what type of improvement it has in memory and everything. If I hopefully I hope it's not a 64 gig, honestly, because that's a no no.
I'll be curious to know, like, why would you get that over maybe a Pixel 5a? Yeah, I get it's using the Tensor chip and there's some advantages of that, like especially if you do a lot of the dictation stuff, because of like the onboard processing that it does is requires
Salute to EQ.
the tensor chip and some of the security stuff. But comparing like my Pixel 6 compared to like the Snapdragon 888 or like the 8 Gen 1, it's slower in a lot of the rendering stuff. So for content creators, I don't know that I would recommend it yet. For photography, I would for stills, but like on their video side, and especially if you're going to like record and edit on the same device, I have a hard time. Just because I've done some like 1080p footage, and it takes a decent amount of time and gets warm pretty quick when you're trying to use some of the editing apps and you start adding layers of text in there and screenshots and stuff. But I think it will also be interesting to see if they're using the exact same tensor chip, because my thought is they could be using one where maybe not all of the cores passed quality tests, so they use like a dumbed down version of it, kind of like how Apple
Oh,
did
yeah.
with the A15, where there was a version of it where one of the graphics cores was turned off, and that's what they put in the iPhone 13, 13 mini, and then the 13 Pro and Pro Max got the full bore. That I could see them doing one that has maybe
Yeah, continue.
some of the graphics turned off, because it's a 20 core GPU. I could see them doing one that's throttled down. I could see them, you know, especially if they're using the older cameras. They don't need to have all that performance for the cameras. But the question will be also, they're doing that to help with battery, because the one thing by having a 60 hertz display um versus, well, not the 90, but like the 120 hertz on the Pixel 6 Pro, I haven't seen anybody compare though to know whether the 120 hertz on the Pixel 6 Pro helps or hurts battery life, because it's also variable, where like the 90 hertz and the 60 hertz displays don't vary. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects it.
Yeah. And I want to say salute again to Tech Pre-Shift for coming in. Yeah, it's true that I want to see what they come up with that. And also, maybe the M2 Air is in the middle. I mean, compared to the M1 Ultra and stuff like that, obviously, in the 14 and 16 inches. But I want to see when they do the same model that you have for the M2, what is the advantages and what, and I don't know when that's coming out, but
Um,
so far, I'm just waiting to see what's Apple's bringing. Are they going to bring the Mac Mini um, second model M2 this year? Who knows?
if
So
you
that's what
think
I'm
about
looking
it,
for.
they're using the same architecture that they were using in the iPads, right? Which was a step up from what they use in the iPhone. So if you go from like the A13 to the A14 to the A15 chip, which was what was in the 13 series, the 12, and the 11 series, there's not a huge difference year over year if you were to compare like performance wise in that. Really, to go from like an iPhone 11 to an iPhone 13 is it is only a substantial jump for some of the rendering stuff, but apart from like performance wise and a lot of the year over year, so going from like an M1 to an M2 makes sense that it would only be a slight bump because they're using that same jump. It's the same idea. It's like when they went from the A12X to the A12Z, and then they went from that to the M1. Really, it's you'll see, 10%, 20%, you know. Graphics sometimes it's a pretty substantial jump, but it's, do you have enough cooling for that to even matter? That's where I think the Pro makes sense. If somebody doesn't want a 14-inch and they don't want the mini LED and they want the battery life similar to like the MacBook Air gets, but they're going to need the cooling for longevity, and they're going to want to really know how the chip performs over a long time. That's where I think why they kept the 13-inch Pro right now until they can maybe bring down the cost on the 14-inch, and at the same time for the people that don't need a ton of memory and storage.
Oh, that's true.
Because you'll have those people that just want a basic MacBook, but it wouldn't make sense for them to buy an Intel model. And the Air, if you live in a hot environment, wouldn't be cool enough.
And besides the Apple products, what else do you think that is viable? Because this year, the C Fold Samsung 4 is coming out. So what do you think? What is the improvement? What you think about that phone?
I
Is it a
think,
good buy?
that's going to be. I don't think it's going to be much different over the Z Fold 3 hardware wise necessarily. Might have a slightly bigger outer display, hopefully a slightly better inner camera, and I think it's going to be mainly software.
Yeah, but do you think they're gonna fix the in-display camera? Because that's the one everybody's complaining.
I think so. I think they're going to use the next generation on there, but you got to think about like the current one is really they're using like the first generation, and now other companies are on to third and fourth generations for those. So even if they go to the second generation, it's still going to be behind. For me, I think the reason they did that is because there's the people that just don't use the inner camera. So they use the outer front camera for stuff, and it was a way to still have that camera there for the people that use it a little bit. People that want to hop on and video chat with like family real quick, and it hides it when you're watching content because it's either that or with something like this device with the Vivo, one
Hmm.
of the things that I noticed is because it still has the hole punch when you're watching content. Let me go here real quick into YouTube. I'm gonna make sure the volume's down. So like if I put on the live stream and I rotate and I go like full screen here, oh, you can't see it because it's dark. But let's see if I can get it to show up. But normally there's where the hole punch is. If there's part of the image, you'll see actually a cutout where the hole punch is right there, would
Oh,
show
okay.
in video on some content because there's no way to hide it. But to
Like you
me,
said,
like,
unless you're using a dark theme or dark screen, you could hide it.
yeah. And to me, I would rather, I don't know, sometimes I like the idea of like the fold where it just
E.g.
hides, and if I'm going to like need to take a photo for something, because there's times where like some websites will have you take your picture, like let's say you're buying something online, they'll have you submit your license and then you have to take a picture of yourself. Well, I would just use the outer one because it's it's better. Like sometimes I wish that they would just give like they should just not include it on the inside of the folding device, or if they can push it to the corner. But
Oh yeah, reading the comments. Hopefully they come.
I
And you
don't
got a question.
think that there'll be a silo for the S Pen. Um, I don't know how they would make, because when you look at the fold, it's so thin. It's thinner than any other like slab smartphone. I mean, you have something like this, right? That's pretty thin. But then you look at the thickness of the fold, which it's in a case right now, but like that right there, you open it, that
Mm-hmm.
comparison compared to like that in a case,
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
it's thinner than a slab phone, and and they have a hard time fitting it in a slab phone. I mean, they've had to take, even if headphone jacks were being included um
Yeah, you got a question. We got a chance.
in these things, it's not going to be there.
I don't know if you want to read it.
Oh, that's what I was answering the question. He asked about the
Oh, okay.
silo for the S Pen, and I don't think it will be. And then I saw BG Tech Life said something about being over phone to tablet foldables. Yeah, so here's my thing about that. You can buy like a really good slab phone, and then you could buy like a iPad mini. Now, my thing with where I see where foldables are great for people is if they made it as like a version of the Ultra S phone with those same cameras, then if you were to try to buy a phone and like a mini tablet with the same storage, processor, memory, cameras, uh, and or you wouldn't have to have the same camera on the tablet, but like there really isn't an iPad mini form of an Android tablet out right now. Like Samsung's A series tablets always use substantially lower end processors. You don't get
Correct.
really, they're not using even like a previous gen. Like the iPad mini is using the processor that's in that tests similarly to the 2020 and 2018 iPad Pros, like in a mini tablet. You don't and and even like the cameras are decent and some of the stuff, but like the way it performs, we don't see. So when it comes to like the Android side, you sacrifice in one way or the other.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I agree. So he says I'm over phone to tablet foldables. Oh yeah.
So
Let me see this. Is it possible? I mean, probably impossible for build in a stylus and a phone in a half. Well, I mean, you could put it in the hinge, or also you could put it in the back, like the tablets, the Samsung tablets, like a magnetic and have an enclosure. I don't
I
know.
think that would be a bad idea because then you're making it even thicker because you have to have a case that has like a flap on it to hold that because like that's one of the things that I really don't like about the way Samsung does it with the tablets. I prefer it on the edge on an iPad, even though some people are like it's easier to lose, but it's easier for case companies to do something like this with an iPad where the pen can just like you have a flap that goes around it and holds it in place. And they can make the magnet really strong because it's not under the display. Where I think part of the issue that Samsung has.
Is I got a question about quickly before you continue. In that case, the cutout is it open or you got like a screen protector on the case you have for your tablet?
Oh, for mine, there
Yeah,
the
those
case
are,
the case there's still case on the edge of the iPad, and then the Apple Pencil, because the case is
I
thin
meant
enough
I
there
meant
that.
the logo with the Apple. You got a circle.
Oh, it's just open.
Yeah, I don't like that because one of my friends crashed his tablet like that. The iPad Pro 2018.
Oh, well, I don't. I'm not kind of concerned unless like a hard corner gets up against there, but usually it's in my hand or like in the back of my
Mhm.
book bag or something.
Yeah, for me, I don't like the top of cases because I already saw that twice with my friends, and it was a regular table, clean table and everything. I don't know how it got scratched up,
So there's
but who
another
knows?
company that makes one very similar that has like a plastic thing in the middle and the back if you want it. Um,
Hmm.
I just
But I already got cases from Kia, so I got to review those that she gave away on her last live stream. So I'm doing that this week. I'm doing one of them, and the next week I'll do the other one.
the closest
Yeah,
thing
go
I've
ahead.
seen to being like a nice case for like the fold is something like this where you have, the two regular halves and then you
Hmm.
have the kickstand part that kicks out, right? And then it
Hmm.
has that piece that goes through like that. Um, but the way theirs was designed was a little, and then was a little bit further out so that my finger could actually slide through. Um,
Oh,
and
like a pop
then
pocket.
and then but the ones I like for holding the S Pen are the ones that have the piece that's along the hinge and it slides down and then the S Pen's there and you can take it out and you can slide the cover back on it. So it holds,
Okay.
hides it. It doesn't make the device thicker and it doesn't make it too much wider. I mean, this is narrow enough that I can easily hold it like this. So, you can still hold around it because it only makes it slightly thicker. And
Let's see.
then it protects the hinge, so they just kind of put it in there. The problem is, like,
I was reading that comment. So yeah, the Tab A7 S Pen is secure and protected. But yeah, but I mean, if it's like that, then for the actual fold, it's gonna make it thicker. I don't know. They'll figure out something, because you know what it is. The quality of the pen is not there yet on the actual phone, on the S22 Ultra. It's still flimsy. It's still not strong enough. So therefore, that's the only thing that I wish they improve.
they
You
would have
know?
to take a step back with the pen for the fold if they were to include it inside the device, because it would have to be thin like the one that they put in the S line. And
Yeah.
they already went and included, and they have the one that's the like universal, where you just flip the switch, so it can be used with the fold, and you can move, and then you can slide a switch, and then you can use it with like and you can use it with like a tablet and stuff. So the idea
Hmm.
is like you can, um, I don't know, I think that this year we might see a slight change in cameras. And I think it's a lot of it's going to be software, and it's going to be optimization for whatever the new chip is. So it's like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or whatever that comes
Correct.
out. And then also maybe pen support on the outer one. I know it's small, but there's some people that want that. Like some people that still want to be able to use their pen on the outer one, because I know people that use the S Pen to move through the UI.
Oh, as a mouse. Yeah.
So one thing that bothers me, I was gonna say though, with like Samsung's method with their tablet with the S Pen thing, is because it's on the back the way it is. Case manufacturers have to make a cutout in the case for the pen to be able to go there, and then when you're using the pen, there's an opening there. And then the other thing is like there's not as many case manufacturers that make cases, I think, because of that. Where if it's on the edge, all they have to do is make the material a little bit thinner on the edge, and then they just make it so the case wraps around it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Oh yeah, I was reading this comment. Yeah. So, shifting the subject to Apple. Do you think by October they're gonna have an M2 or whatever it's called, the Mac Mini number two, the new redesign, like the schematics and people rumors supposedly said?
Um, well, if you look at like when the M1 came out and then how long it took for the M2 to come out, what was it, like a year and a half in between, 18 months? I think that that's what we're going to see, the same thing then between um, with like the Mac Mini and the iMac, and then also the M2 Pro, the M2 Max chip, and then obviously M2 Ultra. I think they're going to that. But then is what's interesting by doing that would be that like then the M3 would come out the same time of the year as the M1 did. Because if with the M2 coming out a year and a half, with like a year and a half between, then basically they would be flip-flopping every other,
Oh yeah, okay, got you.
because you'd be then at 3 years and then 4.5 and then 6, and then so you'd be back and forth. So I think that the only reason that there was such distance in between was because of shortages.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I heard that the M2 was supposed to come out sooner and that it was supposed to be more of a substantial jump as well,
Correct. I heard the
and
same thing.
that they kept it based on the same architecture and released it when they did because they just needed
Mm.
to release something new, and they needed the change. Oh, and there are changes with there, like there is faster single core performance and faster
Mhm.
clock speeds, and there's some things in there that are
Yeah.
going to change.
But my question is, do you think the look of the Mac Mini is going to change? And I think if it does change, that make it more portable, because people say it's supposed to be a home computer, but if that change, people still could carry it because it's small enough to put in your bag, and you could plug it anything that is capable to be plugged on. You know?
I think it might change, but I don't think substantially because you still have to have space for a fan in there, and you don't want to make the fan too short or you lose surface area on the fins
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
talking about
fan.
the leagues that John, sorry to interrupt you, John Prosser put.
When there was that one that was shorter, yeah, I could see that, but again, I could also see like when we saw how big the fans are on the Mac Studio, and yeah, the M2 chip is not doesn't create as much heat as like the Max and the Ultra chip, and and they needed to make it so that the body of it basically is designed for the hottest chip, so that way they didn't have to have two physically, because physically they look the same. The Mac Studio with the Ultra chip is heavier though, because the
Correct.
the coils and some or the cooling channels and that are made out of a heavier metal. But they didn't want to have it be like, well, I can tell that you have an one with the M1 Max versus one with the M1 Ultra because of this or that. Now you can, because for example on the front, right, when you look at them, you can tell the symbol because the um the Ultra got Thunderbolt ports on the front when they step things up, but as far as like with the Mac Mini, I think we're gonna see a redesign similar to the iMac. I think we're gonna see a thin device because if you think about it, the iMac has fans in there and it's pretty thin. So
Correct.
you could essentially go with something about twice the thickness of that, which if you look at it, that's what, like 23 millimeters. Because I think the iMac is 11 and a half. So 23 millimeters thick is pretty thin. And, if you think about that, that's what they would need to have one single fan fit in there that's got twice, the blades are twice the height of the ones in the iMac. Obviously, actually, they could be more than that because you'd also be thinking about reducing, you don't have the metal in between. So they could be a little bit, they could be about 2.5 times that of the size of the iMac. Throw it in the Mac Mini and still have a super thin device that's like an inch thick.
Yeah, because that schematic and that rumors that was showing a while back, we used to having a discussion with my friend. He's not techie, but he's like, I could see the portability if you're going for like a long trade show, you got to stay like a whole week or something, or or like 3 or 4 days. Then that's good because you could edit with that. You could bring like a little cheap a Bluetooth keyboard and a decent mouse, and you're good to go. Because even though they meant to stand alone, be home computers, but if it's that schematic and that model, therefore it's still flexible to carry around. Not every day, just in case in those special scenarios. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm gonna stay here 4 more minutes, and then I'm gonna close it down. So I'm gonna go along.
So,
Bayan is cool.
one of the
So
things,
yeah, any last words you want to say about any technology coming this year? That's what I'm hoping. Because my goal is to get it before my birthday. That's really. Oh yeah, the Apple Watch.
the Series 8 with like the temperature sensing and sweat sensing and some of that stuff. They were the the Series 7 was supposed to get some sensor changes and was supposed to get things for like diabetes and like,
Correct.
but then they're like that because FCC was, you had the FDA was dealing with everything that they were dealing with the pandemic. So I bet you that Apple was like, well, you deal with that. We can hold off on you going through the testing to approve, going through and approving our testing so that we can add it to the Apple Watch. We can, because if you think about
That-
it, I think that the pandemic really did throw that off
I agree.
because
Because I've
Apple
even
doesn't release stuff. They don't just drop it and be like, "Oh, we'll,"
improving.
they
But that to I'm sorry, that to that point, that's beneficial for my family because we a lot of people got diabetes. My father had it since what '83 or '84. So
It
1984. Go
they
ahead.
I do remember when the Series 6 came out and they added like the ECG and all that and they said to and then it was um they had somebody up on stage and they were like, "Yeah, the FDA approved this yesterday." So they obviously they
Yeah,
had them
correct.
they would have already started them in production. So Apple had to know that it was going to get approved. And if we think about it, they do that all the time because like for example, Face ID on the iPhone 10 had to get approved because of the radar that it emits for projecting the lights. There's actually a
Hmm.
little bit of so they had to get approval from they actually had to get approval to use that technology. Well, you don't think that they're going to wait and just wait and wait and wait. They had them in production and basically if they didn't get approved, they had a bunch of units that they risked.
Yeah, let me answer this last question before we got out of here. A hot take prediction: the iPhone 14 Max will be the best-selling phone. Well, those are the rumors, and hopefully, it's supposed to be four phones, but that's based on rumors. It's still not confirmed from the actual company. So I think if it does come to fruition, yeah, it's going to be the most selling phone because it's a larger phone, it's foldable. You don't think so? My family went for the foldable phone. Look, this I'll sell the 10.
So 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 here's why I don't think the 14 Max will be, but I will agree that when the 15 series comes around, I think the 15 Max would be. And here's why I'm saying this. So the 14 and 14 Pro would be about the same size. They're saying that from what I'm seeing now is that originally they were saying the 14 and 14 Pro would be the same size, kind of like the 13 and 13 Pro are the same size, and the 14 Max and the 14 Pro Max would be the same size. Now what I'm seeing is about a 0.1 inch difference that they're saying that it's going to be a 6.1 and 6.2 between the 14 and the 14 Pro and the 14 Max and the 14 Pro Max is going to be like a 6.6 and 6.7 or maybe 6.5 and 6.7. Um but here's the critical part on that. Because of the shift in that, there's going to be some people that are going to buy just the regular one because if they're going to upgrade, if they're going to jump up and they're going to pay more and they want a larger device, they're going to do it because they are going to be using like the camera and video more and doing more intensive things that they need more battery. They're probably just going to go to the Pro Max for this year. Where I can see with the 15 would be once they see the tests from the 14 Max and see if they're getting because here's going to be the thing, the 14 Max won't get the same battery as the 14 Pro Max. I imagine it actually might be slightly worse um, because the one thing that the Pro line gets is ProMotion. So when you're running things that require a lower frame rate, it doesn't use battery as much. For example, my 13 Pro, I get when my wife and I are out and about and stuff, I can have taken my phone off the charger at like midnight and she takes hers off in the morning and we're out doing stuff and she's taking photos and I'm taking photos and we're doing all this stuff all day long and we're on our devices. And I get slightly better battery life than she does because of that ProMotion display where the variable refresh where it can throttle down, where on the 60 hertz displays they don't get that. So unless Apple comes out and says, "Oh, we have worked with and figured out a way to now add ProMotion to 60 hertz displays so that they can throttle down to improve battery life." So I think because it's a new, it might sell it might sell um pretty well for the people that like were like, "Oh, I want the Max, but I don't want to pay the price, and I just need it because I want an iPhone that gets really good battery life." But then there'll be the people that are like, "Well, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to step up to the Pro Max because, they want." It all depends on base storage. If they start all of them with the same base storage, and if And it also depends on a lot of
Yeah,
factors.
the
But I don't know
128.
that the 14 Max will necessarily be the best selling, because a lot of times it's based on price. People walk into their carrier, what's the cheapest I can get from the new series? What did they have it for? Did they have 11 Pro Max and they're looking to go and they want to keep about the same size device, and they also want to really have the jump in cameras? Then they're probably going to a 14 Pro Max if they didn't already upgrade, to the 12 Pro Max or the 13 Pro Max. For me, I went from a 12 Pro Max to a 13 Pro because the 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max had the same cameras, and also I'm on around a charger most of the time. Now, sometimes I wish I would have gotten the Pro Max, just because the battery life seems to be a pretty good, 18 to 20% better on that. And now I'm using it more and more out and about, and iOS updates have. But I still think that it will take a year, because remember when the 12 mini came out,
Mm-hmm.
and it did so poorly that they were like questioning whether a 13 mini would come out, and Apple still released it, partially because it was already in the plans. But then the 13 mini seems to have sold pretty well. I mean, I know there's people that bought them and still kept them. Where with like the 12 mini, people bought them and some people returned it, or like traded in as soon as the 13 series came out because their battery
Yeah, a
life
lot
was
of people will
horrible,
return it.
or like MagSafe was killing it, or there are other things. So I think that initially I still expect that the base 14 will sell the most. And the other thing I suspect on that is because of the discussion um, that there's not going to be a substantial change in the processor this year.
Mm.
So there'll be some people that just held off, and there'll be people that are like, well, I'm not going to get a 13 series when I can get the same deal on the 14 series through my carrier, even though it's not enough
Uh-huh.
substantial change, and they also know, well, they'll probably get 1 year longer of updates. There might be some features that they get that you might not get on the 13 series. And then there'll be the people that haven't updated in a while that always keep the highest ones, and they'll go to the Pro Max. And the people that will get the 14 Pro will be the people that, like I said, they just want the features from the Pro. They don't want a big device. The 14 Max, I think, is going to be a questionable device. It'll be one of those like, well, they don't need the camera features, and it'll be like I said, some of the few people that they want better battery life than the regular 14.
Yeah. Well, thanks for
It's
the
a
people
smart
that came
move.
in. But I've been already an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm gonna cut over here. I don't want to go over. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for rocking with me, Michael Pepper. With
Of
that said,
course.
well, I'll see. All your links gonna be on the description, so everybody could go and find that out. Anything you want to plug before I leave? Anything, news channel, anything?
See y'all Wednesday night,
Okay, he live stream on Wednesday night. What time?
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before Wired Wednesday on Easy Computer Solutions.
Okay, well that's it. I'll see you the same time, same channel. Tune in next week. With that said, peace and love. I'm out.